What's that? Oh, sorry, mate. I'm just not from around here. Again, the Australian accent gets me out of trouble. Sorry, mate. Well, not from around here. I got in trouble by security. Welcome to Translogic. I'm Jonathan Buckley. Let's face it, some of our favourite childhood memories is zooming down a hill on a scooter with a big smile on our face. And unfortunately, we grow out of them and we have to hang them up. That is, though, until you find a scooter that does 35 miles an hour. Just exploring downtown Portland on my Rover. Oop, branch. Finally on board the Works Electric Rover. This is the BR version, and because it's got these massive, fat, wide tyres, it's super stable. Here in Portland, there's a lot of things like tram tracks and things like that. You just ride straight over. It doesn't get you all squirrely or anything. Super easy. As soon as you get on, it feels exactly like you imagine a scooter should feel like. Everybody's having a look going, oh my God, that looks like so much fun. So Brad Baker is CEO and the founder of Works Electric. We're here obviously to find out about the Rover. I liken it to if Mad Max owned a scooter, this would be the scooter he owns. This thing's a real weapon, isn't it?
I have never heard of it being called a weapon before, but...
This all came about, didn't it, because your wife has a massive hill that she needs to get up to go to work, and you were like, well, got to keep the wife happy.
She had this commute, which is it's like a mile away from where we lived, but it'd take her 45 minutes to get up there every day. It's like, can we make something that I can just drive up there and just bring into the office with me, you know? And so it's like, well, that's kind of a good idea. That is how it started, and she was kind of my hardcore beta tester. She'd take it up, you know, up the hill all the time and say, you know, it's a little soft, or yeah, when I'm going over about 30, it feels a little shaky.
So she's giving you all the feedback along the way to develop this thing.
Yeah,
okay.
totally.
That leads me to ask, let's talk about specs and things like that. So there's two models. We've got the Standard and the BR. It's all electric.
And the charge takes around 5 hours, and we can also fast charge it in right around an hour. The vehicle can go 35 miles an hour. It's constructed entirely of aircraft-grade aluminum. Highest power-to-weight ratio any vehicle out there, at least in that space.
So if, for instance, say I had a truck and I was heading into work and I didn't want to drive all the way into town, could I feasibly pick this up, throw it in the back of the truck and get it out when it was time and ride the last 10 miles into work?
And that's really like the whole point.
And then you have the optional add-on, which is the seat as well. For those who are really just want to take it easy, you can actually sit down on the thing as well rather than stand up for
exactly. It does solve what I like to call the urban dilemma, you know, which is you live downtown, you work downtown, and parking space for a car costs you $200-300 a month.
If you're heading into work and you're thinking, you know what, I don't want to deal with traffic, I don't want to drive all the way in and try and find a park, you just leave your car 10 miles away from work, have a blast cruising into the city on your Rover, getting there way faster, and then just carry it up into the office with you if you like. It's not a bad option, I gotta say. 35 miles an hour, I mean, you're keeping up with traffic at that point. If you're, you know, as long as you're not on the freeway, I mean, you're doing traffic speeds. I mean, that's no slouch. That's definitely 35 miles an hour.
Full disclosure, 35 miles an hour with this vehicle on the street, not legal.
Okay.
Anywhere. If you bring the top speed down to 24 miles an hour, the vehicle is legal everywhere. You can drive it in bicycle lanes, you can take it on bicycle trails, you can drive on the shoulder of the road. You don't need insurance, you don't need registration, you don't need license plates. There's a lot of potential markets. Now, from a commercial space, you got things like law enforcement, so they can actually put a Rover in the trunk of their cruiser, go to a destination, pull it out, and actually do a 20-mile patrol somewhere, and it's fast enough and agile enough where it's gonna work really well.
Can we go off-road on it as well?
Yes, you can. You know, you're not gonna take this down the side of a mountain, but fire roads, gravel roads, things like that, it's awesome.
All right, so I'm just taking it on the dirt now. It's a little bit bumpy. Just wanna see how it holds up.
The vehicle itself is all weather capable. You know, it can go rain, snow, you name it. The vehicle itself is going to be fine.
Yeah, it's not for doing jumps on a supercross track, that's for certain. But if you need to go down a driveway or a dirt track somewhere, totally fine.
Well, you're a busy man, not only with the Rovers, but you've got another project that you've been working on as well, and we're standing in front of it right now, the electric chopper. How did this come about?
So it began with me just wanting my own electric motorcycle. The vehicle itself, kind of my baseline offering, a top speed of right around 100 miles an hour, right around 80 foot-pounds of torque.
Yep.
And it'll have a range of 60 miles. And then from there, we can go very high, upwards of 140 miles an hour into that 100-mile range territory, you know, close to 150, 200 foot-pounds of torque.
That's serious torque
stuff.
in a motorcycle, and especially a hardtail. That's a serious amount of torque.
Yeah. That's
a
too
lot
much.
of fun.
Is it too much?
Normally, when you ride an electric motorcycle, you expect it to be completely silent. It's chain driven, so you've got this constant metallic whine beside you.
How do you feel about the electric motorcycles now? I mean, there's offerings from, you know, lots of companies, Sub-Zero, Bramo, even Harley-Davidson with their new Livewire. Where do you see the future of electric bikes going?
It's absolutely the future. In my mind, at least, the real tipping point is going to be when they start performing better than the gassers. That's going to be that point where you're on a drag strip or you're watching a race and the electric bikes are winning.
Yeah.
And they're going to.
Whoa. That was a big bump. Kind of looks like something out of the movies. It's almost DeLorean-esque with its aluminum body shells and metal tubing running around.
Have you got many customers for the choppers right now?
I'm very particular, and so it really takes a very special person to get moving on a custom build. So it just has to be somebody very passionate about it. But when it does, absolutely.
This is a bike that just goes to show what you can do in your own backyard. You've got the brains to do it. Brad's built this thing by hand, and yeah. We've had a wonderful day here in Portland playing with some toys from a company that seems like they're out to change a few perceptions. One, that the scooter isn't just for kids and it can actually be a viable means of transportation. And two, that choppers don't have to be the obnoxiously loud conversation killers that they once were. And they've done them both in stylish, fun and quality packages. Till next time, for Translogic, I'm Jonathan Buckley.